Base round though, Sully, it's a little bit different. It might just be a full takeover towards C to start off our third map.
It definitely looks like that. And look at this pivot that allows Dawn to be in. He can pivot back, drop a smoke, maybe a paranoia if he needs to as well, but it's not going to be happening. Quick take. There's the dash. There's the paranoia to at least split up the offense, but Mummy's already into the site, and Mummy's looking for blood.
And watch out, one player in the back of sight, Curry. Curry goes down in a heap. That's going to be Marv's with a big kill. T1 is completely choked away from this site. What a take.
Shock darts to go in, but it's a little bit late for this plant, and
Yeah,
unfortunately,
yeah.
they're all just going to fall away back. Crashies has only got one shock dart, so this post plant's a little bit wonky. No storms on it as well, but two players here to contest, and both of them get stunned. This could be a horrible situation, but I can't even get the words out. Skadoodle might get a second here as well. That Trailblazer does a little bit of damage, but it's not going to be enough as Crashies around that corner is going to get it, but there's the stick.
Done.
They might be lucky here, but Marv's running on through just in case. Envy will take the first round in this third map.
Oh my god, that ninja attempt was valiant, ballsy, confident for sure. You do your thing, man. Hey, great try for sure. Well done from Envy though. It was scrappy over towards that back line along, but to kind of focus in on things, it was a very quick take, and more importantly, they didn't really utilize a lot of util to really make it work.
It's just a quick play from Envy, really. Smokes go in. Mummy dashes in to break the back line. Marv finds a kill on the Curry in the back site. Nice and easy from Envy. Just to kick things off. Now going forward, it's the full buy for them. An anti-eco round where they want to keep as many players alive and the approach up towards B. Not much that you can really do here if you're RT1. The smoke, the cloud burst will block out the guiding lights. And yeah, Envy with a free plant here. Now the question is, can they maintain it? Crash is going to find one back out towards A long, ensure that the flanks are covered. They're sticking around to the site here, Envy. You're trying to ensure that there's no chance at a ninja defuse.
Yeah, surely. I would hope that there's no chance for it. But I do like how T1 is literally just waiting at the moment. We have 4 players and 4 different, positions, 4 different areas throughout the map. And this could just lead Envy to run into a couple of these crosshairs. See it though, FNS trying to find out Skadoodle over towards that front line, can't find anything, so instead it's Curry that's crossfired up with his teammate, ends up getting the kill back with a shorty, but Envy still survived with 3 players.
Mame was one of those players that only had, I think it was a frenzy, so he's not gonna lose too much. He can drop over that Spectre. Crashies instead, there's gonna be one to pick up the Vandal early on, so Envy. Not a full buy, but it's definitely got some kick behind it. Is Mummy going to go back to that frenzy? T1 with their full buy back, but 3 sets of light armor. Definitely feeling like they may have sacrificed him some light armor for the shields for that utility, especially on the Sky, knowing the kit increase and now how hers is the most expensive in the game. So Skadoodle has full util, but he's on light armor, and that could be definitely a little bit of an issue moving forward. However, Envy taking things really nice and slow. Shock darts to send out towards the B site to try and clear out any pressure. But right now, T1, it's really good control here. Both Dawn, alongside Automatic, have got great control towards A long, and there's a great support system here as well between them.
Okay, but the crossfire has to come up so huge this close range.
Oh,
no, the paranoia goes out, and it's an absolute shambles. Oh, no. Some people were unblind, and that just so happened to be the player that could end up getting the kills. And not only that, but this take on site is even faster. Mame is here, and he is safe in the middle of the A site. Spike will finally be able to go down. It is pure chaos, but it's controlled chaos as Envy make it through.
Yeah, storms go down as well, just in case. I don't know if you're RT1, maybe you consider saving. I think at this point, you really can't. You just want to be on the same economic stature as the rest of your team. But Skadoodle is going to get punished. Crashy's looking the final ult orb for his Hunter's Fury. It could be one of interest for T1 in the next round, trying to deny that. But Curry, if he can get a kill, it would be very nice. But if he can save the rifle, maybe be a hero in the next round, it would be even nicer. But Envy not going to give anything up at all. 3-0 start for Team Envy. T1 find themselves back on another eco round against Envy's full buy. And that was their bonus, technically.
Yeah, technically it was their bonus. They at least had to cap off, a couple of those SMGs, a couple of those rifles, but they got most of them back, and I don't really think that economy is going to be too big of an issue. And T1 is going to be up against the ropes. But I think, again, Sully, there's a couple of the rounds that we've seen be like, quote-unquote, happenstance, a happening in a circumstance. I think that last play was that. Such an unfortunate paranoia.
I think there's a lot to digest from how Envy are going. They're kind of just like, one major thing that I want to put out before I complete my thought is that Envy,
Sure.
the coordination thus far has been absolutely stunning, right? Having Marv slotted, don't know how long he's been working with the team, but the way they've been using utility, and as you say, happenstance, it happens when a paranoia works out in your favor, though maybe you don't purposely intend it to. They've got great util coordination so far from the side of Team Envy. T1, it's something they're going to have to try and work around. Knowing the coordination that Envy have, it's always been a struggle for certain teams, and the tech pause coming to a close. T1 find themselves with a very awkward buy. Curry is early spamming, and he's going to get such heavy damage, at least onto Mame, but Victor immediately swings. It's not going to be the kill on the Curry. It's instead of killing the Frax, but there's so much going on towards mid, and thankfully Envy, with the better guns, come out on top of the engagement.
Better off in the engagement, but what actually comes out of this in terms of map control? They took a quick peek over towards Garage, and they haven't made any ground over towards Long for a very good reason. Skadoodle still has eyes over it. Oh, Skadoodle, don't do it. Skadoodle wants to hug the corner, and he runs right into Crashes at the exact same time. Tried to put up a fight, but only got a shot to the shoulder. So instead, now it's just going to be a free sight for Envy.
Getting Mame closer to that Blade Storm. Automatic and Dawn are like, what do we even do now? Alarm bot watching the flank just in case. If you're T1, you want exits, but is it really going to do much to harm the Envy side? Most likely not. Automatic. Perhaps looking for a peek. Okay, he is going to get at least one kill here. It's on to FNS. That's just going to add one charge back to the lockdown. And still, no real damage, I think, can be done here by T1 economically. So you can get these 3 kills. It'll be very nice to charge up ult points, but in reality, the round is already lost, and there's the lineup. Mummy's going to find the final 2 kills. Envy up to a very strong start, a very good mid play, catching those 2 players, and then immediately splitting back into Garage, knowing that the C site will be weakened due to rotations.
Going into the next round, quick check-in on ultis. It's going to be most of T1, just only 1 ult point away from most of them. And I think that's going to be pretty dang important, especially if we talk about Brax and potentially Skadoodle, who are only 1 point away from very pivotal ultis in terms of team play.
Oh, very fast play from Envy. They're really trying to deny the ult orb access here from T1, and it's not working out entirely in their favor. Victor leads the charge, and it's Mame right behind, but Automatic strikes back with a kill after taking down the run it back. And now Envy, they slow things down a little bit, but they have full control of the site. The Owl Drone will clear, and they are looking solid for a 5th round here possibly, as the spike will go down. Automatic in heaven is looking to punish someone.
Automatic could certainly look out for Marv as he tries to go for the peek, and there you go. Automatic picking up a big one. He gets a big kill where he's actually able to now go for the Blade Storm. Actually goes for the updraft. Gonna be able to take down Victor. Still one more around the corner. It's gonna be Crashies. Crashies gets a big kill and goes down to Dawn. It's now a 1v1. Dawn versus FNS. Dawn in the middle of sight, right in the middle of the smoke, and FNS comes up from behind, completely throwing off Dawn from where he thought FNS was. FNS comes up from behind, gets the kill, and is now sliding Envy into a 5-0 lead, potentially a 6-0 lead off of this next pistol round, potentially. Sully, Envy, they are on fire.
They are really kicking into high gear. I love it, man. They just full rush into the A site to deny the chance of that Hunter Sphere coming online. They took the gamble, and they played it perfectly. FNS in the 1v1 coming up massive to give Envy their 5th round. And like you said, this could be 6 here. T1 have really got nothing to play with at the moment, and Envy currently staring at a 6th round at the moment. Mame right on out with that early dash. He's not taking any chances that they're going to get any orb control. T1 with an opportunity to perhaps shut it down with 3 players anchored to this A side, but that tag is going to be so big. And Envy, they are putting T1 backs against the wall as this A site opens itself up, but this is the lurk I'm talking about, Gus. Look at Marv.
Look at Marv finally pulling off a little bit with that lurk that you mentioned from earlier, but that's just, you know, kind of like almost stereotypical Haven play. Once in a while, you're going to have that lurker, and I think T1 even notices it. They're going to keep most of the players at least even throughout sites.
Wow.
2 over towards A. And potentially 1 over towards B. But look at this. Look how close NV is getting. This could just be the take ASAP. Out goes a Marshall shot. Not going to be able to connect. Instead, it's going to be Mummy trying to make his way up. Same thing with Victor. And this site is theirs already, Sully.
My goodness, this execution. The cam that was thrown into short by Brax didn't get anything.
Nothing.
I think at this point you really can't use it just because you have the lesser guns. There's no point in using it here. It's basically a lost cause,
right.
But Envy, a great execution. Marv shows presence on that C site to prevent rotations from coming. Envy cut noise on A. That cam so unlucky that there's nothing that they can get off of that one. And I mean, there's no info relayed to Curry, and now the rest of T1. They're just going to try it. Nothing to lose at this point in time. See what kills they can get, but they're getting mowed down 1 by 1. Brax still coming back a little bit, and it's Victor. 3 kills in the round, and you know what that means. 3 ult kill charges back to his ultimate.
Oh my lord. I mean, of all the ultis that I expected to potentially get, you know, nerfed or at least, you know, bumped up a little bit on ult points, like, I actually thought it would be the run it back. If there was one that I had to, you know, be like to right, I'm like, hey, you should really bump up the ult points on this. It would definitely be the run it back, because look how quickly it's going back, and it's so pivotal. Victor is now only 2 ult points away from getting back that run it back almost immediately after he uses it, and NV doesn't seem like stopping whatsoever. It's gonna be an absolute symphony of ultimates this round, I would like to think. There are 7 ultimates live on the server.
Yeah, this lockdown could be really big. You can see that Envy, instead of taking towards sewers, their focus is going to be back into garage where the lockdown is most effectively used, but there's still a player in the back. Curry lies, sits in a wait. Ooh, a little bit of a rough engagement, but Automatic could get a second kill for his team. Noise has definitely been made, and Automatic doesn't want to deal with that pressure. Sky ult comes out, Seeker's out, and no one's in garage. The smoke dropped as well. It's great so far from T1, but that kill definitely opens things up, and now the rotation's starting to be pulled here by T1. There's no chance to cancel. Commitment has been made, and Crashy's already leapt forward onto the site.
Brax is finally going to go for the Hunter's Fury, but they actually let off the spike because of the Hunter's Fury. That is massive. It's that empty pressure that we mentioned. As Dawn, even just sitting around that heaven area, they're even just thinking about planting that spike, and finally they go for it at the very end of the lockdown when they know it's safe. Crashes with a great angle, taking full advantage of the lockdown radius, going pretty much into their spawn. Gets a pretty good angle, and now it's going to leave this whole play in a 3v3.
Yeah, Dawn is really going to come up huge with this paranoia. It's the only thing that can set them up, and the only thing that could really punish Crashy's operator. They still have swarms on the site. They still have a turret for the contact. How do T1 approach?
Crashy still sitting up. It's a crossfire with him and FNS. There's one player over towards long, and there you go! FNS makes the wide swing. It is going to make this round possible for Envy. One more player remaining in a 1v3 for T1. It is Dawn, and it is done and dusted. Crashies with a 3K gives Envy a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, this is looking really rough for T1. Sheriffs, nothing really available for T1 in this round. This is another situation where you need that eco, and this was the setup. Dawn had a really good first kill. This flick from Crashies. He puts the pressure back. They realize they lose a little bit of control from that Heaven player, and Crashies is quick, very quick to respond with that operator. T1, 7-0 deficit. It really needs to start kicking in here as Envy. So far, so good, and 2 rounds ago, he had his ultimate, and 2 rounds later, Victor's on another run it back.
Unreal, changing the composition of the game again, and both duelists currently have their ultis alongside that Hunter's Fury. I mean, it's just, I don't know, there's just so many options for Envy round after round, it seems, and T1 have already ran out of their options. They utilized almost every single ulti that they had just in the last round. And I say almost every because I don't think Omen TP really counts for an ulti. In we go though. It is going to be done taking away FNS. A couple of players from NV still scattered around throughout that back line, but that's a great start for T1. They almost really, they can commit to this C side. They could make it work, but could be a fake. I like this on Jasperi. Yeah.
Definitely a big fake. Crashies baiting out the heal as well from the sky. The regrowth Envy 4 versus 5, and they're approaching the A side, and it's only one. Look at this. Donna's making an advanced position into sewers instead. He's trying to hide. Paranoia doesn't hit Victor, so he can still take that space. They know where it came from, and then Crashies is there to punish.
Yeah, and there you go. That's all that A site gone. 3 players over towards C, 1 player in B. They come in a little bit too late. And now in we go. Gonna be just about 10 seconds left of the clock. Finally, the plane gonna be able to go down. Mame, who was fast, gonna miss out on the right click, but still gonna be able to pull out the sidearm. Marked, Crashies, Mame, all 3 getting kills off the post plant in what is a disastrous T1 effort.
Oh my goodness, it looked like it was like a little bit possible when I saw that guiding light go in and the quick burst from, I think it was Curry, to just jump into the site, but he needs to punish Crashies or probably Mummy here at the very least. Envy with such a strong 8-0 lead, T1. I'm a little lost for words. I mean, the performance they brought in Vine, the performance they had on Split was phenomenal, but this is shocking. T1, the operator for automatic again to try and challenge towards long, but Envy back to their roots, the A site, pressure forcing away those 2 players on A. Rax and Curry together have to back away just a little bit, and Envy, they know that T1 aren't going to be aggressive over towards C, so they are willing to let them have that space. And Envy, slow walk up towards this A site again. Marv again on his traditional lurk, has got smoke set up, and they won't have the assist of that Paranoia, so it comes down to the curveballs at the very end.
It's gonna be yet another quick A take, or at least that's what T1 is anticipating, but no, it doesn't happen at all. Instead, there's a player over towards mid that automatic has to look out for, and it could be a very quick B take or C take. We don't know just yet. 50 seconds left in the round, and Envy can just bide their time over towards mid. They still have, however, Skadoodle getting all of that information. They have no one playing in the back of C for good reason. However, they have no info over towards Garage, and it's a very quick take onto B. That Paranoia is so deep, Sully, and it still ends up connecting. Skadoodle, with a couple of bullets through, does end up getting one in the back of mid, and oh my, indeed they are! They are going right through spawn. Skadoodle is trying to go right in through long to try to hold this back, but it's going to be a back site plant with just about 20 seconds left.
They know exactly where everyone is. Mame is going to find automatic in the back. They know they made those rotations on the A site. They know where Skadoodle is. 1 bullet's all it's going to take. Victor struggling to get the kill, but has hot hands to heal up, but instead uses it for the fight, and automatic, or apologies, Skadoodle is still not going down. How is this happening for Envy?
Okay, Envy, it's a little bit of a disaster. They can't take down Scott, like you mentioned. What is the speed? Spike is still down. There's a player still over towards B. They're waiting for an approach, but oh no! Mame and Victor finally get the kills that they just so desperately needed. And Brax, who was waiting up in B, who was waiting up in Connector, could not find anything. It's a 2v3 clutch for Envy as they pull it off.
Dude, it's a round that just flip-flops back and forth. T1, they looked like they had it, and yeah, you sure as heck need a timeout at this point in time. I mean, the read was there for Envy. They knew that Ska was going to be playing in that cubby. They knew the other 4 players were going to be rotating in from that A site. Spawn and Garage were their 2 main worries. In T1, they had an advantage, a 3v2 from a 4v3, and somehow Envy, they pull it out of their back pocket out of nothing. That single Sky Flash, honestly, I don't think it was a big deal, but it definitely drew attention away, and it didn't pop at that moment where I think it was automatic, or apologies, mate. Yeah, I think it was automatic that swing. It didn't pop when he needed it, and he lost his life because of it.
Yeah, which, hate to see, honestly. But, you know, in terms of the other, you know, interactions around the server that I've been kind of at least paying attention to, I am loving the proactivity of Skadoodle over towards long. He's been getting more comfortable, Sully, but in the same way that I like that approach, it's the same way that I absolutely hate it. That is Envy absolutely conditioning the hell out of Skadoodle. Skadoodle tries to go for one little dry peek or one little contact peek. He doesn't see anyone. He doesn't see anyone for just about like 10, 15 seconds, and he's already making his approach over towards C long. That is something that you desperately have to either take advantage of if you're Envy or really look out for if you're T1. You gotta be careful.
Oh, flashes go back. Victor is gonna get the ult to Orb.
Yeah,
He's gonna get two
oh my
ult
gosh.
points. He could even get a little more from this engagement. Brax up close, forced back a little bit by the Nano Storm, but it's slow again from Envy. After that first pick, they leave Marv here to lurk. He does his thing. He does his dance. He knows there's at least one. I don't know if he expects the second, and Victor's here to help back him up just in case. So Envy, the 5v4 advantage. T1, what is the approach? A deep cam out long. We'll give them a little bit of information, but a smoke towards the top along. This conceals the movements of Envy. With a minute left, there's that opportunity where, yes, the contact's been made out A. Yes, the contact's been made out C. What site do they want to approach? And T1 have to spread themselves thin.
Thin line for Envy as they start to approach over towards C long. Again, only one person here. It's a fast rotation back over towards Garage, but does Don even have the right utility or the right firepower to really hold this back? He absolutely does not. Paranoia right to his face. Victor with a wide swing. That's yet another ult point for his favor. They give him the spike. He might just have ulti very soon again. Mame still trying to go for a peek over towards Garage. There's still a player over there. T1 is not only down to 2, and we are most likely seeing double digits from Envy Sully. 10-0. Unreal. These players from T1, they're still trying for a couple of exits potentially. Automatic ends up getting 2 and could potentially get a rifle back in his favor for this. Victor is still back in the spawn. Might go for the peek. And instead, it's Curry going for the peek. Automatic gets the trade back. FNS still over towards long. Same thing with his teammate. And FNS still around. Automatic is still stomping around making noise. And he's still in the middle of the spike zone. And he wants to take down FNS too. Okay. I like that. Good economic damage. Don't really know if economic damage is a thing when most of your opponents are at max. But, like, cool attempt, you know?
Yeah, nice flare from Automatic. At least showing a little bit of livelihood for T1. But the big thing is, dude, Victor is... In one round, he collected 5 ult points. So he's got his ult back online just like that. He's had like 4 just in this half alone, and we're only 10 rounds in. So moving to round number 11, they have that to play with. They know it's a full buy from T1, so that'll be super handy. And FNS, he's got his lockdown as well, and it looks like it might just be a quick play into C here, right? You get garage control, throw down that lockdown. Victor's going to take that space and clear it out, and yeah, lockdown can come into effect here late into this round as Victor takes up all of that space and pushes them back even further.
And again, it's that run it back being so pesky, like you mentioned. Get the hell out of Dodge. Everyone from T1 running away, and now Victor wants to continue plugging away at that defense, and man, it happens again. Victor gets a big kill over towards mid, but out goes Skadoodle. Skadoodle ends up getting 2 at the exact same time, but that's a very quick trade for Marv, who was right in the middle of Garage to even collect that. And it's Mame with the op, looking way better this map with the op, getting 3 kills back in his favor, 11-0.
Well, so... What do we say, Gus? T1 13 node, Ghost Gaming.
Uh-huh.
And then Envy say, Revenge for Ghost Gaming, and they 13-0 T1 on Haven. What do you know?
Yo, high
how
key.
Things work out.
High key, if the Ghost players are watching this, I want like a coordinated tweet. You know, something underhanded to
Creed.
T1.
Make it happen, Creed.
Creed can definitely make it happen, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, folks, in we go. Envy can potentially pull off a little bit of cheekiness later. If they can talk about a 13-0, but they need to continue the 13-0. It's a very quick takeover towards the C side. There's one person right in the middle of the smoke, and that a singular person is gonna stop this Sully. It's just been back-to-back C takes, and it's working out flawlessly for Envy again. T1 is in a full retake scenario in a 5v5.
Yeah, and look at how the range of that lockdown. Crash is taking up all that space. He's not gonna dodge it. 2-player stun, but there's one in the back. Marv again being that pesky lurk. Heat taking off the players in Garage, and that is fantastic from Envy to close up the half. One more round, and Envy will do what T1 did to Ghost Gaming.
Match point.
All right. Here we go. As we look through the highlights of this first half, you will begin to realize that all of the highlights are for Envy players for good reason. What a half it was. And Sully, I mean, I think we reached a point at around like the 10th round-ish where we stopped really seeing T1 start to touch C. It was before that point, though, that I was actually really impressed with Envy and their takes and how fast they were, how aggressive, how much of a pop they really had to them. And I think we finally see it. Mental is boomed on T1 because of that playstyle.
Yeah, so, I mean, we say it all the time, but, like, you need to win the pistol round.
You need to win the pistol. Like, you actually need to win the pistol this time. Yeah. It's a stereotype, but, like, actually.
Yeah, T1, a lot on their shoulders, a 12-0 deficit. I would be astonished if this comeback amounts, and...
okay. Oh, listen.
Listen.
You even saying it out loud just ruined those chances.
It's just outlandish, right? I know. Yeah. I just jinxed it all.
Oh,
hey,
my
Envy.
God.
FNS
totally
solo here on this C site. Smoke set up here. It's a C split, but it's only 2 players approaching from long. And it's a setup that FNS has just to allow the spike to go down. But then he can instantly deny it with storms of his own. And yeah, he's going to do just that. Delay cause, but it's not enough. Spike will go down, and there is no one near for this rotation and this cancellation of a plant.
Oh my God. Like, literally, what team are we watching at this point? It's deja vu again. Yet another MTC site, this time for a retake scenario. And it's T1 this time with full control. Curry has to start things off right with that frenzy. Gonna be able to get one, but no trade back. FNS coming in from window. Actually collecting up Automatic, who's there for the trade against Marv. So now it's just a fight. Rax going in for the wide swing, taking down FNS. Mame's still alive, but the Ghost needs a headshot against Skadoodle. But gonna get it with a couple of volley shots. 11 HP
there
left on Brax. And there it is. It is absolute perfection for Envy. A 13-0 finish against T1.